Former U.S. Senator Alan Simpson, who dedicated himself to securing an apology and compensation from the government for the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, has died, a group of which he was a board member said. He was 93. Simpson died at a hospice in Cody, Wyoming, on Friday. A longtime Republican, he developed a close friendship with the late Democratic Representative Norman Mineta, the first Japanese American to serve in the U.S. cabinet. Born in Denver, Colorado, in 1931, Simpson was a Wyoming House of Representatives member before becoming a U.S. Senator for the state, holding the position for nearly 20 years until 1997. He broke his lower back in December, the group said. A self-proclaimed monster in his youth, Simpson was on federal probation for 2 years after shooting mailboxes with his friends. His behavior reached an inflection point after he says he belted a police officer trying to arrest him after Simpson had shoved another man outside a pool hall. Simpson ended up in jail for a night in a sea of puke and urine. Simpson, spurned from the experience, described a creeping maturity that shifted the trajectory of his life. The older you get, the more you realize your own attitude is stupefying and arrogant and cocky and a miserable way to live. After completing high school in Cody, he graduated from the University of Wyoming in 1954 and earned his law degree from the school 4 years later. 2 years in the U.S. Army and work as a private attorney would precede a winding political journey that began in earnest in 1965 when Simpson was elected to the Wyoming House of Representatives, a post he would hold for more than a decade. Simpson would leverage those years, and his reputation for bringing life experiences to the job, into a successful Senate bid in 1978. The tallest senator in U.S. history until 2017, Simpson served as Republican whip from 1985 to 1995, and was even considered a potential candidate for vice president in 1988. Simpson declined to run for re-election in 1996 and went on to teach at Harvard University. But his years away from Capitol Hill didn't dull his disdain for partisanship. In 2010, he co-chaired a bipartisan presidential commission on deficit reduction alongside Democrat Erskine Bowles. The panel, created by then-President Barack Obama, was tasked with identifying policies to improve the fiscal situation in the medium term and to achieve fiscal sustainability over the long run. While the group's plan failed to gain traction, Simpson's role in the effort vaulted him back into the political spotlight as a commanding voice on national debt, an issue he tried to impress upon young people. In a statement released after Simpson's death, former President George W. Bush described Simpson as one of the finest public servants ever to have graced our nation's capital, and noted how the former senator delivered a eulogy at the funeral for his father, former President George H. W. Bush, in 2018. In 1943, Simpson met Mineta, who had been taken to the Hart Mountain internment camp in Wyoming. After resuming contact around 30 years later, Simpson cooperated with Mineta, who sought redress for Japanese Americans, leading to the passage of the Civil Liberties Act of 1988 under then U.S. President Ronald Reagan. Simpson was known across Wyoming and the country for his tenure as a U.S. Senator for Wyoming for 3 terms, from 1979 to 1997. But his engagement in politics began long before that. Prior to his time in Congress, Simpson represented Cody in the Wyoming House of Representatives from 1965 to 1977. He was gifted in crossing party lines and building bipartisan consensus, said Colin Simpson, one of Alan and Simpson's 3 adult children. He would relate to legislative colleagues in a manner that allowed them to feel valued and listened to without being taken advantage of. Some of the issues closest to Simpson's heart included campaign finance reform, immigration reform, civic discourse, and national debt reduction. In 2010, he served as co-chair for former President Barack Obama's National Commission on Fiscal Responsibility and Reform. In 2022, former President Joe Biden awarded Simpson with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Simpson is one of 34 senators in the history of the U.S. to receive this recognition. He was an uncommonly generous man, said Pete Simpson, 94, Al Simpson's older brother. And I mean generous in an absolutely unconditional way. Giving of his time, giving of his energy. And he did it in politics, and he did it in the family, forever. Outside of the political world, Mentalk remembers Simpson as a patient father figure. Mentok lived with Simpson and his family in Cody while attending high school in the 1970s, and has remained close with him ever since. One thing about Al Simpson is whether you are a family member, or whether you are a constituent, or whether you are just a person on the street. He is very, very present, Mentok said. He's right there. He's not thinking about anything else. He loves people. Mentok said Simpson had a love for poetry and music, a passion he passed down to his 3 children. Simpson also enjoyed museums and art, frequenting many museums in Washington, D.C. Back in Wyoming, Simpson was a strong supporter of the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, where he served as a board member for 56 years. Rebecca West, the CEO and executive director for the museum, likened Simpson's contributions to preserving Western culture to the famous Western hero William Buffalo Bill Cody. Al Simpson's immeasurable devotion, loyalty, generosity, and dedication have been the bedrock foundation we have all collaborated to build on for more than half a century, both here at the museum and in the wider Cody community, West said. Simpson's family has not set a memorial service date, but it will be held at the Christ Episcopal Church in Cody with a reception to follow at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, according to the press release from the Simpson family and the Buffalo Bill Center of the West. The family asks that in lieu of flowers, donations be made to the Center of the West, Spirit Mountain Hospice House, and the Heart Mountain Wyoming Foundation. Alan Simpson's dedication to public service and his unwavering commitment to addressing key issues throughout his career left a lasting impact on American politics. As a respected senator and advocate for bipartisan cooperation, his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of leaders. Thank you for joining us as we reflected on the life and legacy of this remarkable statesman. If you found this video informative and would like to see more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections about Alan Simpson and his contributions in the comments below. Your support truly helps us continue sharing stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.